And the battle continues. This is Mark the Meerkat in with a brief market review for February the 21st, 2018. Well, the Fed made the announcement this afternoon, and there was over a 500-point swing on the Dow Jones Industrial Average. It was up over 320 points, and then it ended up closing down over 160 points. So that's a big, huge swing in the market, folks, in the last hour of the market. But let's take a look here at the numbers. First of all, we have the SPY. It was down 0.5%, although it was up for most of the day. Again, the Dow ended up minus 0.65. The Qs, the NASDAQ was holding the markup, but at the last minute dropped to negative at minus 0.28. And then we got the small cap Russell here at plus 0.11. They ended up being bullish on the day, but just holding on by their skin or their teeth. Now then, the VIX, that was interesting. The VIX went all the way down in the 18s, and then boom, back up right at the 20 level again, down 2% on the day, but it was down much lower earlier in the day. Gold and silver here, we had gold down just slightly, and silver had held even. The dollar ended up being up after the Fed announcement. The dollar was down, and then it spiked up, and that kind of caused the market to pull back real quickly. And hey, for those Grok grad traders out there, the trend trade is on for tonight. And then to those who are following our Bitcoin here, it did fall 6% on Bitcoin, and on the GBTC, it was down over 10% today, although it's been on a nice leg up. All right, let's take a look here at the charts. First of all, at the SPY. Now, in D7's weekend review, hopefully you were looking at that, he went over in excruciating detail what we were faced with right here. We are in what's called a bear pullback situation, where the possibilities were it's hitting a lot of lines of resistances after this rebound back up, and guess what? That is continuing. We had 6 up days in a row, and now we've had 2 down days. Again, a lot of it was driven by news today, but it doesn't matter. Look at the chart. I don't care what the news was. I wanted to see what the market's reaction was to it, and it was not bullish. And so, if we take in that fib line we talked about, the important was that 61.8, and sure enough, here we are, 61.8. We said at 50. It stalled here last week when we talked about it, right at the closing line from last year, and then it stalled again at the 50, and then it's been stalling underneath this fib line of 61.8% retracement, and also this line of resistance here. And so look at that, and it's just starting to roll down. The MACD does have a negative tick on it, even though it's still slightly above 0. So we do have some indications that we might be ready for another pullback here, and so again, keep your longs and then also keep your shorts ready as well. The Dow Jones Industrial Average looks pretty much the same thing. Came right up here, the 61.8. You can see it was stalled right up here above that, and the 50 moving average just couldn't sustain itself. And again, over almost a 500-point swing here from high to low from the Fed announcement at 2 o'clock Eastern. And then the last hour of the market, everybody decided to sell off. Bam, the way it went. Then we've got the Qs. Now they've been much more bullish than the rest of the market indexes, and again, it's way up here. Now, where is it on its fib? Well, it broke the 61.8 a long time ago, and it didn't fall nearly as much as the rest of them did. If we take a look there, stop it. There we go. It's up at this 78.6, and it's stalling up here now at this line of resistance, but it is above its 50 moving average, is above its 20 moving average, and it's basing up here. So tech stocks are holding the market up right now, and especially the 2 or 3 of the FANG stocks, which we'll look at those charts in just a moment. So again, we have a buy on this. We are still potential of the markets rolling down. Definitely the strongest of them are the tech stocks in the NASDAQ. Then we have the small cap Russell here. Again, it was much more bearish. It dropped all the way to its 200 moving average, still struggling to get back up here above its closing line from last year, and is staying below the 50 moving average. It can't, the 20 moving average can't get above the 50 moving average here. Lots of things holding it back. And let's take a look at that fib line on this one. Oh, this Fibonacci thing. Yeah, you can study up on that a little bit, but there it is. Look at that, right at 61.8. Again, area of resistance, which happens to be right where the closing line is from last year. So it is a possibility that we could be rolling down here very carefully here. All right, let's take a look at some of the FANG stocks, see who is going along for the ride and who is not. FANG, are these the Facebook? It is not going along for the ride. It pulled back. It is not retreating back up to its highs. So not so much on Facebook, but Apple definitely. It dropped below the 200 and it's pulling back up here into this range as it was up above 72, and it was up here at 74 today, and then of course it dropped at the end of the day with the rest of the market. But Amazon, oh, it's on fire. Not only is it back up to its highs, it's back up to a new all-time highs. It broke above the $1,500 mark today. High of day was at 1503, and then it pulled back just at the end of the day, ended up under 15, but clearly it is much stronger than the rest of the markets. And then the last one then would be Netflix. It too is participating, going back up here to all-time highs. And then the last of the FANG stocks, the G part of it, was Google, and it too, it's acting more like the market. It's pulled back here, and now it's starting to stall right at its 20 moving average. End up pulling back and closing right in that area. Again, if we pull a Fibonacci on this one, again, it works for the stocks as well as it does for the indexes, and we'll see where it's at. Survey says, could not close above the 61.8. Look at that. Interesting. Okay. Again, 70 to 80% of the stocks follow the broad market indexes. As you can see here, Google is doing just that. Well, this is Mark the Meerkat with his brief view here. Des is out there in Las Vegas, Nevada. So best to him, and for the rest of you, let's make sure that we trade what we see, not what we think. Trade well.